Hi, everybody. This is Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and I'm here for another episode of what am I doing? Q&A Tuesday, right? That's what we do here every second Tuesday of the month. I answer your live questions, and some of you have caught on that I do this, so you guys have sent me some questions. So I'm so excited to be here for another Tuesday to give you guys some insight. And today I'm really going to focus my content around branding. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So let me go to my questions that were pre-submitted. Let me do that so that I can bring it for you guys. So the first question that I got was, I'm having trouble identifying my ideal customer. How can I simplify this process? Well, first and foremost, guys, identifying your ideal customer is crucial, right? For any new business, because it's really the foundational step that's going to inform your marketing messaging, your offer development, and really your overall business strategy. So, here are some of the key things that you need to do to identify your target customer. Number one is conduct market research. You should really look at what's going on in the market so that you can gain insights on your industry, your target market, and your competitors. You want to analyze any demographic data you can get your hands on. If you're selling B2C, you want to look at like consumer behavior trends. You really just want to understand the market dynamics for any potential customer segments and look for gaps and market opportunities. So that's why you always start with market research. The next thing you got to do is figure out who it is you want to work with, right? So you want to create what we call your ideal customer profile. And basically, that's just you creating a detailed description of your ideal customer. It's also known as a buyer persona. You need to consider factors like age, gender, location, income level, their occupation, their interests. But here's the thing, don't just stop at like this basic demographic information. You also want to understand other things about this person. What are their goals? What are their aspirations? What are the barriers keeping them from accomplishing their goals? That's the real data you need. How many kids they have, where they live, and their income is great, but you really need to understand what's going on with this person. What are they really trying to do with their life, right? Are they someone who's into a healthy lifestyle? Are they somebody who wants to be famous? Are they somebody who wants to start a business someday? Who is this person? You need to really dig into what they care about. And also, you want to be strategic about where this person spends time online, how this person consumes media and news information. That's another really good indicator that you can use to figure out how to best reach this person once you start marketing to them. The next thing you got to identify and really dig into is their pain points and needs. You got to identify a specific problem that your product or service is a solution for. You need to understand their challenges and their needs and what is going on in your industry or your niche, right? So you want to understand their pain points because that's going to help you develop content that really speaks to them, because you want to make sure that you can demonstrate that you know who they are, that you know their pain, that you're just like them. And you can't do that if you haven't really studied this person and studied what their needs are and studied what they're struggling with. You also want to analyze any existing customers, right? So if you have already been in business for a little bit and have gotten somebody to pay you to do something, start by looking at them. Analyze their demographics, their purchasing patterns, right? Figure out if you could create your persona from someone who you've already done business with. Always look for trends and patterns that can help you refine your target customer profile. And really, this is all going to inform your marketing strategy, because when you develop your marketing, you need to be talking to one person. Now, many people may fit that profile, but you need to be talking to one person and always keep it laser focused on them. And if you do that, you will definitely generate customers. And certainly, you want to always seek feedback. Um, use surveys, make phone calls, do interviews, do focus groups. There's so much information online and ways to gather people online. You can get information about why people are buying or aren't buying from you. So always reach out to people and just ask them a question. And then never forget to keep your eye on the competition, right? You definitely need to be looking at what your competitors are doing. I'm a big fan of putting a Google alert on your top 2 or 3 competitors so you don't miss anything they're doing online. You're studying your competitors is good because it helps you identify gaps and really figure out if there's an underserved or unserved segment in the market that you can target effectively, right? You always want to make sure you're differentiating yourself from your competition. So that's the other reason why you need to be paying attention to what they're doing. One of my favorite tools to check out the competition is spyfood.com. You can go on their website, see what are they buying any ads, how much they're spending. Like Spy Food can give you a lot of details. So do not forget to focus on the competition. Now, another great question that I was asked is, what steps can a brand take to establish credibility with corporations? Now, this is an interesting question. I have only ever done business through my marketing consulting firm with corporations. So I will just basically give you the information that I used to build my company Quintessence Group over the years, which I'm very proud to say we are celebrating 25 years next month. When it comes to building credibility and trust with corporations, it's really about being strategic, right? You don't need to do business with everybody. You need to do business with a dozen or so corporations that make sense for you, because you just can't possibly market to 100, 200 corporations. You can market to 30 or 40 or 50 though. So here's some of the things that you want to do. Number one, you got to be consistent. The first time you send an email, do not think somebody is emailing you back. You have to reach out to corporations, corporate buyers, supplier diversity managers, on a consistent basis. That way they'll know that you're still in business, that you're serious, and that you will build confidence over time. And then when you actually get a chance to meet someone face to face at a conference like the National Minority Supply Development Council or the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, they'll put a face with this person that's been emailing them. But just know, in any marketing situation, you are going to have to reach out 6 to 7 times before you get a response. Let me repeat that. In order to get a marketing response from anyone, whether it's a corporate buyer or an individual person, you need to reach out 6 to 7 times before you get a response. So that one little email, that one little voicemail you left for somebody, that ain't it, right? And then when you do get an opportunity, when they give you a little test project, you better hit the ball out of the park. You have to provide exceptional customer service. I mean, you want to offer exemplary customer service at every touch point, from the initial inquiry to your post-purchase follow-up. You want to promptly address any concerns or issues that arise and go above and beyond to exceed your customers' expectations. You want to be responsive and attentive to your corporate clients, because the second time they buy, they're going to spend more money if you do a great job with your initial project. Also, too, when you have your initial call with a prospect, a corporate prospect, you want to ask questions. You don't want to pitch anything. You want to listen. And you definitely certainly want to interject your expertise. Like, you want to talk about maybe some of the other kinds of projects that you've worked on. But your number one job in a prospect meeting is to listen. You definitely want to make sure that you understand what their problem is, try to find out their timeline, ask them about their budget, but you do not want to go in there selling, because you want to make sure that you understand if there's even a need and if they're ready to move on it. And certainly when you get the opportunity to pitch, or if you get invited back for a second meeting, that's when you talk about your success stories, your testimonials. You want to share any case studies that you have. You really want to demonstrate that you have worked with other corporations, because no corporation wants to be your first corporate client. So if you've had the opportunity to work with other corporations, that just gives you so much more credibility. And you might want to consider obtaining industry certifications. Now, paperwork is a pain in the butt, guys. I know it. But if you are a woman-owned business, if you are a woman-owned business, if you are a veteran-owned business, if you are located in a hub zone, if you're a minority business, there are lots of federal and corporate certifications you can get. 8A, hub zone, small business, small disadvantaged business, veteran owned business, disabled veteran business. These are all things that corporations need too, because corporations do business with the federal government, which means they have requirements. Now, there are also corporate certifications you can get from the National Minority Supplier Development Council if you are a person of color. And you can, if you're a woman business owner, you can get a certification from the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. Now, depending on the size of your business, you might be, $300 to $1,000 a year for your annual certification, but it's worth it if it's one more box a corporation can check to do business with you. And don't forget, you can always provide educational resources that would be valuable to a corporation, like a white paper, like a guide. You can do a webinar, you can do workshops that address key issues and trends that your corporate target might be dealing with. Providing valuable educational content really demonstrates your commitment to helping your corporate clients, and it really can help you succeed long term. And always, whenever you do business, you want to check in with the customer. You want to find out how you can improve your products, your services. You want to make sure that you did a great job. And the best way to do that is to ask, right? And you should ask pretty quickly, like within 2 weeks to a month after you finish an engagement. You need to get some feedback, right? Don't wait 3 months, don't wait 6 months. Reach out pretty quickly and find out if everything went well. Certainly if you had employees that you had to send to be on their location, you want to make sure everything went well, that everybody showed up on time, behaved like they needed to. All of these things are really, 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 really valuable as you think about how you're going to build a following and build repeat business is the number one goal anytime you are trying to get a corporate client. And once you get one, the number one thing you want to do is keep them. So asking for feedback, asking for a follow-up conversation is a great way to position yourself for the next contract, right? That's what you want. Here's another great question that someone asked me. How do you attract corporations or nonprofits looking for guest speakers for events? Well, if you are interested in being a professional speaker, there's a couple of things that you've got to know. It requires a strategic approach to networking, marketing, and relationship building. That's how you get speaking opportunities. So here's a couple of ideas that I just want to throw out to you all. First of all, you want to make sure that you identify your niche. Your speech might not be relevant to every audience, but it is relevant to some. So for example, the 3 most popular speeches that I give are how to become your own boss, how to become a brand in demand, and the 12 P's of running a successful business. So those are the speeches that I give. Now, do I give others? Yes, but those are the ones that I pitch to people, right? So you've got to know what your niche is, what your expertise is, so that you can be the authority for that content. You want to tailor your offerings really to address their need. Are they having an annual conference? Are they doing a women employees event? Are they doing a Black History Month event? Whatever it is, but you just want to position yourself as an expert in a specific field. And whenever you reach out to them, you want to make sure that you're showcasing your knowledge, your credentials, and any relevant experience that makes sense. The next thing you've got to think about is how you can develop a compelling brand and online presence. I cannot stress this enough. When you have a compelling brand online, you will draw opportunities to you. So you want to invest in creating a brand. You want to have a great website because your website is your number one sales tool. And you want to figure out the one or two social media sites where your target customer spends time online. So if you're selling B2B, obviously LinkedIn is one of them. If you're selling B2C, you might be looking at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. I mean, but no more than two, guys, because it's a lot of work to do quality on a social media platform. And the last thing you want to do is spray the same content everywhere. That's not going to work, at least not anymore. So you want to make sure that you focus on two so that you can have two different types of content, different days, different types of things being posted so that you can build up your following online. And really, your whole goal is to establish yourself as a thought leader by sharing valuable insights and resources related to your niche. That's how you'll get found. Because a lot of times when people are looking for speakers, guys, they Google who's written a book about this or who's talking about this or who wrote a blog post in Medium about this, right? So you can be found based on your content. And so you've got to be really strategic about the content that you are developing, really so that you can get found by someone looking for your expertise. Now, you also have to figure out how to build relationships with decision makers. So, you want to network strategically with people when they're having their fundraisers, right? Can you meet people from the nonprofit? Can you meet some of their board members, right? That you want to figure out who's responsible for putting together the event. You might want to even try to figure out who the event planner is, because all of these people have a role in deciding who's going to speak next year. Now, the thing that you have to realize about associations or industry conferences is that they typically book speakers 6 to 9 months in advance. So often you might go to the event this year hoping to be speaking next year because you're probably too late for this year. So you want to attend of conferences, you want to go to networking events and fundraisers and see who you can connect with that might be potential clients or collaborators. And then you've got to offer value through content. I cannot stress this enough. You want to create content such as blog posts, videos, articles that demonstrate your expertise and offer actionable insights to your target audience. You want to highlight them on your website, through your social media channels, and on email. Remember, guys, social media is great, but email is trackable. So you want to make sure that you're building a list of great contacts that you can reach out to for additional information. And then you certainly can offer workshops and webinars yourself. You can invite your corporate targets to your webinar or your live event. That's a great way to see if they're really interested in getting to know you. And if it's something of real value, they just might come. That's live events are expensive, but if you land one or two corporate clients out of it, that could totally be worth it. So think about it. The last thing I would say about how to land corporate and nonprofit speaking gigs is to seek referrals, right? You want to request testimonials from past clients. And if you know the person that's speaking at that conference this year, ask them if you know them, if they would refer you, because usually people don't bring back the same speakers year after year. So listen, word of mouth is powerful in the speaking business. So you want to seek out referrals as much as possible. And then, closed mouths don't get fed. So you have to ask people for help, ask people for support. And that is some of the best ways for you to get opportunities. Okay. All right. So I hope that was really helpful about how to get speaking gigs. Now, don't forget, you guys can absolutely put questions in the chat. I am totally happy to answer any of your questions. But if you don't have any, I'm going to keep going with the list that I have. How can a brand leverage partnerships and collaborations to increase visibility? Well, certainly, if you are an influencer, you probably know who the other influencers are. So you can always partner on a webinar or go live on each other's Instagram channel, right? There's lots of ways to partner and leverage somebody else's brand and hopefully attract those clients or those followers to you. So make friends, right? You know who the other top influencers are in your industry. Reach out to them, have them on your podcast. You can be on their podcast, right? You can do things to grow each other's brands. Now, somebody asked a question about what can I expect after I've completed the brand in demand coaching course. Well, I'm so excited to talk about that because my brand new cohort for my brand in demand coaching program starts on March 20th. So I have a cohort that's about to graduate. And let me tell you what you can expect. In this program, I am going to help you reinvent your personal brand. We're going to look at your messaging, who you want to be, what you want to be known for. Then we're going to drill down on who is your target customer, who are you trying to communicate with. Then we're going to walk you through developing your offer, but not just developing your offer, how to launch your offer. Many of you want to become professional speakers and authors, and we're going to give you the ins and outs of becoming a professional speaker and how to actually pitch for speaking gigs. And we're also going to talk about the book business because it is a lot. It's complicated. So we're going to walk you through that. And then I'm going to help you build your sales process and your team that you're going to need around you to promote your personal brand and close customers. So after that, you are going to be armed and ready to launch your coaching program, to launch your consulting opportunities with corporations. If you're trying to be a speaker, you're going to know how to pitch yourself for speaking gigs. You're going to know how to put your one pager together. So you're going to be ready to be pitching yourself for podcast opportunities. I am going to arm you with everything you need so that you can position yourself as a national brand. That is what the Brand in Demand program it's about. It's about putting yourself in a situation for a corporation to call you. It's not about you pitching all the time. It's about being the number one authority in your space, and so that corporate partners want to work with you. And that's what I teach in the Brand Demand group coaching program. Now, someone else asked a question about how can I adapt to changing trends and societal needs to remain relevant? Well, you know what? Things always change, and you cannot be afraid of change, right? 2 years ago, AI, ChatGPT, we really didn't know what it was. And now people have embraced it. I have personally embraced it to increase my personal productivity 200%. So, number one, you have to stay on top of the industry trends in your industry. Secondly, you can't be afraid of change, right? Just like the algorithms on Facebook changes every 6 months. Your clients' needs may change every 6 months too. So you want to make sure that you're tracking industry changes, you're tracking what's happening in the market. If you're going after corporations, you need to be reading their 10Ks. You need to be reading what their quarterly filings are to the SEC so that you know what is going on with them. Look for what their pain is. They have to disclose it in their SEC documents. So you definitely want to be checking those out. But you just want to position yourself as a person that knows what's going on so that you can be zinging where other people are zagging, so that your website should not look like it's dated because you and your information is not dated, right? So that's how you want to position yourself. And then someone asked, what metrics or indicators can brands use to measure its impact and effectiveness? Well, honestly, you guys, sales is the single best indicator of whether or not you're hitting the cover off the ball, right? So what you want to think about is, are you generating sales? Are you generating leads? How many leads do you need to generate every month? Like all of those things are really important. If you've got a service business, you might need 200 leads to close 30 opportunities, right? So you need to figure out what you need to be doing to draw people in, to get people interested. But then you've got to make sure that you have a tight sales process on the other end to close them. There's nothing worse than getting a bunch of leads that you do not know how to close, or that you do not have an effective sales process, or you don't have a good salesperson to close them. That is like shooting yourself in the head. You do not want to do that. You want to make sure that you're constantly doing things, that you're visible, that you're participating in things, you're going to networking events, you're following up with people, you're connecting with them on LinkedIn, you're making phone calls, you're sending emails. You want to meet people, you want to talk to people either on Zoom or for lunch, right? Those are how business is done. People do business with people that they like, know, and trust. And it does not matter whether you're selling online or you're selling B2B. You still have to get out there and meet someone, look them in the eye, and build that relationship. That's what you want to do. That's what you need to do. And if you do that, you will always have business. Because I'll give you guys a true story. 7-8 months ago, I went to a networking event and I met the president of a university. And I had some books on me, and I gave this woman a copy of my book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months. And no lie, you guys, last week, somebody from her business department reached out to me and said, the president of our university gave me your book, and we are interested in working with you. We now have a minor in entrepreneurship, and we're interested in using your book in the classroom, maybe having you come and teach for us. We want to have you judge a pitch competition. Like, they want to have this huge, big relationship with me simply because I gave somebody my book 7 months ago. So again, going out to networking events, interacting with people, supporting other people, make people support you, right? But you cannot be like, whoa, I don't have any business. And you're not going out to events, you're not meeting people, you're not talking to people, and you're not just being generous with your time and your resources, right? I could have made that lady buy my book. Why would I do that? No, she's the president of a college. Colleges need books, colleges need teachers, right? So those are things that was valuable to me. But what I'll tell you is, sometimes the reason why I told that story is because I told you I met that woman 7 months ago. So sometimes your follow-up it's not right away. Sometimes you got to marinate, right? That's why I told you guys earlier, it takes 6 to 7 interactions before somebody decides they want to actually talk to you about some business. So you got to get out there and you got to do the follow-ups to get your 6 to 7 times. Now, you don't want to be a pest. Someone should not hear from you every week, but maybe every 30 to 45 days. Yeah, because just because somebody doesn't have a need today doesn't mean they won't have a need 3 to 4, 5, 7 months from now, right? So again, I want you guys to think about how to be strategic, how to network effectively, and don't forget that I'm going to be teaching a lot more information about how to become a brand in demand on February 22nd at my free webinar. So head over to SmallBizLady on Instagram, and the link is in the bio so that you guys can sign up for my free webinar. It is on Thursday, February 22nd at 6 p.m. And then I just want you guys to know that my brand new cohort for how to become a brand in demand starts March 20th. And I have a special secret for you guys. If you sign up for my brand in demand group coaching program, I'm going to do your pictures. I'm going to do your video sizzle reel. You're going to come to Philadelphia, work with my glam squad, my makeup, my hair people, my stylist is going to make you look your best. And we're going to get your pictures and you're going to be fabulous. So I want you to know that if you sign up for the Brand in Demand group coaching program, your pictures, your videos, that's free. That's included. Okay. So I am so excited for the brand new cohort of Brand in Demand that's going to start on March 20th. And I want you to get a spot because look, I only have 20 slots, guys. And once they're gone, they're gone. So I want you all to take advantage of that. Head over to smallbizladyuniversity.com brand in demand group coaching. And you can get the information on my 6-month group coaching program. And I'm going to give you what you need. If you would like to know how I've had the opportunity over the last 15 years to work with 150 corporate brands, if you want to be a national spokesperson for a corporate brand, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm going to teach you. You want to have a major media organization reach out to you and send a limousine to send you to New York to be on their show? Yeah, that's the stuff I'm going to be teaching. So you do not want to miss my latest cohort of how to become a brand in demand, because when you get done, you're going to be a national brand, and that's what you want, and that's what you deserve. And I can't wait to have the opportunity to help you get there. All right, this has been another episode of Q&A Tuesday with Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and I can't wait to see you next month.